I am here, and right now, I am very alone. At first, I felt a little skeptical, like Sarah when the angel told Abraham she would have a baby, wondering what on earth was going on.
Knuckles.
But a bit forward for my age, too, I think. A girl at 13 should answer back to an angel. I have to admit, I was a bit proud of being chosen by God for such a special task. For all of maybe 5 minutes. Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it happen to me just as you say. Then I told my mother, Mother, I have seen an angel. He had a message for me. She was more concerned with preparing dinner for the men, saying, Mary, bring me some oil, bring some flour. She was too busy with everyday events to hear about the angel's message. However, she did stop to listen when I told her about the baby. But Mother, it's not going to be Joseph's. That's when I began to realize that while I might be blessed among women, it was a very mixed blessing. My mother lives in disgrace. My father wants to know who the father was. I will beat him within an inch of his life, he screams. Again, I told him about the angel. He called me blasphemous. How could I tell him that the Lord Almighty was responsible? What am I to say to Joseph? How am I to keep my belly hidden? Joseph came to talk to me today. Now I'm very much alone. He looked so sad, not angry like I thought he might be. Sad for himself and for me. For the baby. We are betrothed. He was struggling to not believe the voices in the marketplace, wanting to believe me. Oh, how I need him to believe me. But he said he could only believe his own eyes. I told him that God had chosen us to be husband and wife, and that this child needed him to be his father. He replied it was not his child, and turned and walked away from me. I feel utterly abandoned, even by God. I can't understand why he supposedly has chosen me for the highest honor ever bestowed upon a woman, only to be totally rejected by all around me. I would doubt the whole thing, imagining I'm going insane if it were not for the evidence growing daily inside me. But both the baby and I are in grave danger. My father has had an occasion to sell some of our animals recently, and the rumor is spreading that the money was used to buy Joseph's silence, as if we had so much money, or he so little integrity. When I mentioned that my cousin Elizabeth is also having a baby, my father thought it would be wise and safer for me to visit her. I can assist her during her own preparations. After all, she is not exactly young. The angel himself has told me that Elizabeth is pregnant. I hope she will believe me. She looked at me and said, Mary, what a blessing to see you, my dear. How ready I was to hear those words. I have traveled with a caravan down to Judea. My father had supplied me with a donkey. You can imagine Elizabeth's surprise when I arrived. She called me a blessing. What a change from what the people back home are saying. And you also, Elizabeth. Adonai Shar Shalom. Blessing be yours and God's peace within your walls. Elizabeth couldn't wait to tell me her news. A woman at her age, barren for years, and now pregnant and in her 6th month. She was surprised to hear that I already knew. Who would have thought that an angel would have spread such wonderful gossip? I was then surprised to hear that Elizabeth's husband, Zechariah, had met Gabriel too. I told her, Gabriel came to tell me I'm also going to be a mother. Elizabeth, I am to bear the Messiah. Then Elizabeth winced. I quickly came close to support her. Elizabeth said that it was the strongest kick ever. And then something amazing. Elizabeth became filled with the Spirit of God and said, Mary, my dear, you are blessed among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. How fortunate I am to have the mother of my Lord come to me. The babe that kicks within me is leaping for joy to hear your voice. First, the angel had called me blessed, and now Elizabeth, and even her unborn baby had known. Looking at her with a beautiful smile on her face, I remembered Gabriel's words, for nothing is impossible with God. I'm bursting with God news. I'm dancing the song of my Savior God. God took one good look at me and look what happened. I'm the most fortunate woman on earth. What God has done for me will never be forgotten. The God whose name is holy, who's set apart from all others. His mercy flows in wave after wave. And those who are in awe before him. He bared his arm and showed his strength, scattering the bluffing braggarts. He knocked tyrants off their high horses, pulled victims out of the mud. The starving poor sat down to a banquet. The callous rich were left out in the cold. He embraced his chosen child Israel. He remembered and piled on the mercies, piled them high. It's exactly what he promised, beginning with Abraham and right up to now. 9 months pregnant and have to ride 100 miles on the back of a bony donkey? I felt like a sack of badly loaded cabbages, tossed and jolted from one step to the next. I walked as much as I could, but that was slow going because I got tired easily. It took us 10 days. I was glad for the rolling to stop, believe me. In Bethlehem, we trudged from place to place, everything full to overcrowding, and I was getting more and more desperate, knowing that my time was near. An innkeeper's wife took pity on us when she saw my condition. She made her husband sweep out the stable at the back and gave us room there. Fortunately, the animals had not yet been brought in from winter, so it was empty. And with a bit of clean straw, it wasn't too bad. I was glad of the peace and quiet. We were settled in none too soon, and my labor pains began almost immediately. Joseph, bless him, did his best to make me comfortable, but he was no midwife. I don't know what I would have done if the innkeeper's wife had not returned. She had obviously delivered many babies in her time, and this was just another one to her, a break from routine before she hurried back to her guests. To hold that baby, how can words describe the wonder? Every baby is a miracle, but suddenly all the pain, the discomfort,